Good morning. We're just waiting on Tatiana. I looked at 9 and I was like, oh, it's time to go. And then Tatiana. Um, and thanks for the reminder. We are recording. I just popped open this thing, Tatiana. So thank you for hopping in. I was like, I saw 9 o'clock and I was like, oh, I'm late. I better hop in. But anyways, welcome to Open Office Hours. I'm Crystal Hinkle, part of the team here at Syncro. I'll let the ladies introduce themselves.
Hey everybody, I'm Tatiana. Welcome.
Hi everyone, I'm Brandy, and it's nice to see everyone today.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes. I can. It's really laggy on my end, but I don't know.
Can you guys talk again?
Yes. Hello. Testing.
Now I can hear you. Okay. And I'm going to use this microphone. There we go. You know what happened? I think when I changed my virtual background, it changed all of my settings. Anyways, welcome everybody. This is Open Office Hours. We love doing these. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Feel free. This is just a place to just come and get all of your questions answered, whether it was, throughout the week that you've just been training and that kind of thing. And you just have questions. This is just a great place to hop in and get those answered quickly. You don't even have to stay the whole time. We always record this. Thanks for the reminder. We are recording. And so we use the Q&A. So if you see us looking over here, that's what we're doing. And also, I am kind of getting a little note. Is my internet leggy? Is anyone having an issue hearing me or anything like that? Are we good?
Sounds fine on my end.
Okay. All right, good. All right. So yeah, like I said, we use the Q&A. All questions are welcome, whether it's how-tos, deep dives. We're happy to, if we have time. Brandy and Tatiana both know this product so well that they're happy to just dive in and give a lot of detail as well. And we do post all of these on YouTube, which is really awesome. You can always go back. So if you're brand new to Synchro, we try to title them. Sometimes we do a deep dive, but we try to title them of kind of like what maybe the main, at least beginning topic was, but we cover a lot. So there is a ton of useful information in here every single week, really. And like I said, it's a great way for continued training. So I know that we have a lot of folks in here that have been using Synchro for a really long time, that it's nice to just come in and hear what your peers are asking. And just kind of, the other thing is that we like to show off all the new stuff too. So it's fun to keep coming back every week and see like, hey, that's something new. So yes, use the Q&A, and I see there's a question already in there, and go for it, Brandy.
First of all, I just want to welcome Jeff because he says we're in trouble now. We're really clients, not just trial users. Thank you and welcome, because we've seen you at a lot of these, and that's exactly what we like to see, just continued training. So welcome to Synchro. We're really happy to have you. And then David, this is a really great question. So one of my customers is the local county government. The way I have to invoice them, I have to create each department as its own customer. The county manager needs visibility into every department. Is there a way to give the county manager portal access to each department or customer, all within one portal? Also, is there a way to combine all the departments in reports so that he can get county reports instead of a report for each department? Super great question. There's kind of a yes and a no to this. So you can give the county manager visible, make the portal visible to them by adding them as a contact under each individual one of those customers that you have, but there's not a way to combine it all into one report or all into one particular portal. So they would be logging into multiple portals. Completely see this use case. I think it's great. I think this does happen pretty often. So happy to pass that up the chain as a request, but currently you would have to add them as a contact under each one of those customers, which are your different departments.
Yeah, we get that often, and I think it's really interesting because I think also there's a lot that goes with like if you're an internal IT department too, and having, different sites and locations, the difference between using sites and locations in one customer as opposed to if you need to bill separately, having every department or location as a different customer. So there's some nuances there for sure.
Yeah, and Vaughn kind of has a follow-up question to this. Can you have the same email address contact on multiple customers? You can. So you can absolutely, you can't have the main email for the customer be the same, but you can have the contact could have the same. You could have the same email on every single one of your customers if you wanted to. So really, really good question. Yeah, and you're not able to combine those on the report. Like if you wanted to show a ticket time, or something like that, it's going to be customer specific. Sorry about that.
No, that's all good. I'm gonna read this one from Jeff just out loud. What are clients using for time tracking? Coming from ConnectWise, we are used to timesheets. Trying to wrap my head around timesheets in Synchro. I think the built-in is too basic for what we are looking for. Got it. Okay. So, and I'm assuming when you say time tracking, it's more of like your employee, like log in and log out, not time tracking within the ticket. I'm assuming. And if that's the case, I mean, I think a lot of, I don't know if there's like a connection to QuickBooks that people use to track employee time. So let me just share my screen. I'll just answer this since we have some time here. I think it's going to be this here for a sec. Okay, so what we have in Synchro for actual time, we do have a time clock where your employees can clock in, clock out for lunch, for the day. They can, an admin can go in and even adjust time clocks and that kind of thing. And we do offer a report. So that is what we offer as far as actual hours. If you have more of like the, 9 to 5 or whatever it is for your technicians. I would be curious to see if anyone has integrated anything else into Synchro. And of course, if you're discussing actual time tracking within a ticket, there's 3 different ways to do that. So if you have any questions on that, of course, happy to dive into that. But yeah, if anyone has any experience and wants to let us know what you're using, that'd be great. What's next?
I see a question from Tony. So I just want to let you know, I do see your ticket that's open and I've let our support team know just to take another look at that. But MCsoft is still a vendor. We offer 3 different antivirus options. So we offer MCsoft, WebRoot, and Bitdefender. You are able to trial Bitdefender free now while you are in your Synchro trial, or if you're a paid customer, you're also able to trial that now for 30 days. And you can also trial MCsoft while you're in your Synchro trial. Yep.
Awesome. I have Shane. He says he uses Toggle for time tracking, which is awesome. So appreciate that suggestion there, Shane. Question from Anonymous. Hello, I'm looking for a report of income by tech. I found how to see their overall hours billed, but no representation of the amount of that actually got billed out to the customer. We want to be able to scale bonuses based on the amount brought in by tech. So really good question. I'll share my screen. I'll show you guys a report that I would recommend for this, and we'll see if this will help you get into the right direction. So within the sales section within Synchro, I think it's this either the sales by product or sales detail report. You can run this based off of the product category actually. So I don't think this will filter this by a tech per tech basis. But for example, you can say I want to see even based off of a saved customer search if you wanted to pull in basically what kind of work has been done, units sold, and this will give you basically like profit, like your profit margin, things like that. So that would be the first report that I'd recommend out of those. And I think unfortunately you actually can't run that one on a tech per tech basis. I think we also have a commission report, but I actually don't know a ton about it. Crystal, do you know kind of how to show that one?
Yeah, I think it's, so I can show my screen because what I think, and Tatiana's kind of alluding to this, that there's ways to get there. There's not like one profitability report. So that is a highly requested report, but there's ways that with the different reports you can pull what you need. So I think I can show I can show this sales and commission report here too. This is nice. Just if you wanted to like offer a specific commission based upon the actual technician. And I don't see the question in here anymore. So I don't know if commission has anything to do with it, or if it's just more of you're wanting to see, I guess if you are paying your customers or your technicians commission, this would be really, really helpful. And you can just put your, you know, whatever percentage it is, you can put that and then run this report. And if I mean, this is the demo account, so you can see like we have a ton of time tracked here, but you'd be able to see like the totals down here too. In addition to that, then, I mean, you do have just ticket time by technician as well, which is also kind of helpful. Just knowing how you bill your customer, you can kind of like take the different reports, export those into a CSV, and then kind of generate whatever type of accounting report that you need. And so I know profitability is like, I mean, we have a P&L summary, but it's not exactly what you're looking for in regards to like profitability of a customer. So I always recommend using these employee reports against like the customer detail report essentially as well. So hopefully that was kind of like a long answer to get there, but hopefully that helps.
Awesome. Thank you. I see a question in here from Evan. So is there a way to respond to a customer on a ticket via email? Example, I want to respond to a ticket from Outlook and have it routed to the correct customer or ticket. Yes. So I actually dropped in the KB in the chat box for you, and it will talk about like ticket CC magic as well as forwarding customer emails. So if you do want to have that go to a specific ticket, you'll actually put I'm not sure if it's in brackets or not, but like ticket 1234 in the subject. So you'll have to enter that in the subject and it will route to the correct ticket. So that KB is in there for you. I don't have a way to show you that because I don't have my emails connected to our account. But then David is asking, any custom dashboard building tool coming in Synchro? Not that I'm aware of, to be honest. We do get requests for customizing the dashboard, but it's definitely worth the request.
Awesome. Thank you, Brandy. Next question is from Richard. He says, we have signed up for a trial of Bitdefender. I have successfully created an automated remediation that creates a ticket when a detection occurs. I'd also like to start a full system scan, but I don't see an option for this. Is this possible? So I'll show you guys what he's talking about. If you guys are currently trialing Synchro, you can test Bitdefender. It's free for 30 days, so definitely go ahead and take advantage of that. But what the specific automated remediations triggers that get pulled into Synchro, I'll show you. I have them set up here. So if you create a new automated remediation, you can say trigger category is Bitdefender antivirus, and there's two alert bodies that we can pick up on at this time: deleted malware and blocked malware. So you could say, I need to, convert this into a ticket through the predefined subject status and a comment. Or if you wanted to, you could run a script or complete any of the rest of these actions. So beyond this capability right here with these specific triggers, anything else that you might want to kind of do to the endpoint outside of running a script would need to be done within the full Gravity Zone portal. So outside of deploying antivirus or Bitdefender through the policies and the automated remediation, the rest of your settings and the triggers that you're adjusting would need to be done within the full Gravity Zone portal.
Should I go? Okay. Let's see. Is there a way to get custom customer asset field values into scripts? Yes. So let me just show you. We do, well, I do this with a fair warning that I do not use the scripting engine myself. So I can show you where to go but not how to specifically do it. So I'll just preface it with that. So if you go to scripts here, my computer's running a little slow, I feel like. If you create a new script, what you'll find is that if you're using PowerShell as the file type, you can add script variables. These variables can be runtime, but they can also be platform. They can even be password now, but platform, like if you were to use so you've got your asset custom field here. So whatever your custom fields are, you can call to those within the script. And then if you see below, you can even read or write to those scripts based upon this PowerShell module. So you just have to put this into the first line of your script. And then like I said, you can set the asset field or actually read the asset field as well. So you just need to be using the PowerShell module and our variables to be able to do that. And again, I can show you all that stuff. Can't tell you exactly how to do it. I can just show you that it is there. And then another one from David, is there a way to have a customer approve an estimate, auto create the invoice, and email the customer that invoice? So as of right now, the customer can approve the estimate in the portal. You can get notified about that, but it's not going to automatically create an invoice. You're going to have to manually create that invoice and then send that on over to your customer. We have different ticket automations and things like that. I think it's a really interesting idea to add different automations based upon estimates and invoices and that kind of thing. But right now, once they approve, you'd have to manually do that.
Awesome.
Right.
Thank you. I have a question from Rob. So is it possible to create a PO from an estimate for non-stock parts? So currently you're not able to do it from an estimate. I did drop in the KB in the chat as well for purchase orders. I don't want to wait until the end to tell you guys this, but as we go through here, if you want any of these links that we're dropping in the chat box, even though we do record these sessions, the chat does go away. So you'll lose all of those links. So go ahead and gather those as they catch your attention throughout the session.
Awesome. Thank you, Brandy. Question from Jeremy. He says, I was playing a bit with the SMS notifications and I see people can reply with S to not get SMS messages anymore. How can we override that if a client changes their minds? If you have time, can you give a quick rundown of the SMS options? I wouldn't mind. So I am double checking with our support team to see if there's a way to revert that. So I'll give you a follow-up as soon as I hear from them, but I will share for the rest of you guys that are either trialing Synchro or haven't used SMS before. There's a couple options that I recommend. So first things first is the SMS that's organically built into Synchro. It does come with 200 free credits per month. They don't roll over. They do expire at the end of the month. They don't accrue. So if you need more than that, you can buy additional credits and add-ons. If you are a Synchro payer, I think it's like $30 for 2,500 SMS credits. And so what those credits can be used for is if you have SMS enabled for a customer, if you go over to any ticket, you'll notice that in the communication section, that's now going to be an option to be able to text your customer straight from a ticket. So obviously you have to have that enabled for the specific customer. But that would be, again, in this drop-down menu, you would have another option here to be able to send a text. The other thing that SMS is popularly used for is for notifications. So for those of you guys that are new to Synchro and trialing, if you go to the admin section, make sure you also take a look at your notification center, because you can adjust the settings and how you want to be alerted on the events that are the most important to you. Again, there's a huge list here for you to choose from, and SMS is one of the options here that will also pull from your SMS credits. So beyond that, we also do have an integration with Twilio. So if you have used them in the past or you currently have a license with them or you're curious, we don't charge you anything extra for Twilio, but you can bring your own phone number. They have a ton of really powerful settings. I'll drop the KB into the chat box for you guys if you want to take a look. But I've heard people setting up like an appointment reminder notifications through Twilio. They have a whole different subset of different workflows that you can use with Twilio, and Twilio is separate from our built-in SMS. Our built-in SMS just quote unquote just works as you're testing it if you wanted to kind of see the settings there, but I'll drop the Twilio KB, and Jeremy, I'll let you know as soon as I hear from our support team as well.
Great, thank you. Adam, we're in trial. Welcome to your Synchro trial, and they had a demo with Tatiana this morning, so that's awesome. Can we use our domain to completely white label the solution, especially for the customer facing portal? A couple things here. We don't support CNAMEs currently, but it is possible that you can redirect the customer portal to a custom URL of your choosing if you don't want them to go to the customer portal. So I will drop that KB in here. And if you'll scroll to, I believe it's towards the bottom or middle of the KB, it'll tell you how to do that.
Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna grab this one from Brad. If I have multiple tickets for one customer, I know I can go into a ticket to create an invoice. At that point, I have the ability to add any unbilled tickets. Do those added tickets get their status changed to invoiced or somehow get flagged that they've been added to an invoice? When I look at the tickets tab, I've customized using the customize to show invoiced. But the ticket that was used to create the invoice shows the invoice number and the other tickets do not. Is there a way to see tickets that have been added to an invoice or flagged to show that it's no longer unbilled? I hope that makes sense. It does make sense. It absolutely makes sense. So let me just show, just for those of you that maybe don't know this part, we've got a couple labor line items here on this ticket. If you look at this add or view charges, like on this ticket specifically, you can see these were both added to an invoice. This is probably a really good example because the ticket status is still open. So if you add things from another ticket to an invoice, it's not going to automatically update the status. So for example, let me just add like a laptop here and then make an invoice. So I'm going to make an invoice from this ticket, which making one from this one should update that ticket to invoice. But as you can see, I've got all of these other ticket charges that I could add. So it does not automatically update this ticket when you add it to the invoice. So kind of a way to be able to see that information. I'm going to head back over to, actually, I'm just going to start with reports. What I like to show is that you do have some visibility over those pending ticket charges. So you could see if there was anything still pending. Aside from this, I'm not really sure if there's a clear way to have it flag or remind you to go in and resolve that ticket. Aside from you can see all of these pending ticket charges that have not been billed, to go in and make sure those are billed. Do you guys have any other ideas of how you can automatically update that ticket? I don't think there is a way to do that at this point. Super good feature request though, and I think I would be happy to pass that one along.
Thank you, Crystal. A question from Randy. He says, we like to use SMS to send comments from a ticket, but don't like the customer to be notified by SMS for ticket creation, etc. They get a flood of SMS if it's enabled. How do we disable the ticket notifications for SMS? Can we do it by client? So I double checked with our team. It looks like this cannot be handled by the client. You can disable the SMS automated text under admin, PDF, email templates, and SMS templates. Just clearing the SMS message for the specific trigger should disable it. So I'll share my screen and I'll show you where to actually find that setting. So it looks like we can head over to admin, PDF and email templates if you guys haven't seen those yet. Sorry, I was researching my next question, so I have a bunch of tabs open. But in the admin section here, under PDF and email templates, and then here in the SMS templates, just clearing the SMS message for the specific trigger will disable it. So that's really good to know. Hopefully that is helpful to you. And then I also, Jeremy, I got an update for yours. If your question was, how do you get customers to get SMS messages again? So I'll share my screen. This is actually done on the customer level. If you go over to your customer's profile, you click edit the profile. On a customer per customer level, you can choose whether you want to enable or disable SMS just right in here. So that is where to find those two settings there. And then I think I had one more question in here. Let me pull up my Q&A. Question was from David. We make customers pay for hardware upfront if it's over $100. If we create an invoice for the project plus hardware plus labor, what's the best way to send the invoice to the customer? We verbally tell them to only pay for the hardware today. So this is actually a really good question. And I think this might be a situation for estimates, just because on a estimate within Synchro, again, you can still build all of those line items that you're planning to charge your customer up front. So I'll kind of walk you through here. We'll set up a brand new estimate for your customer. You can charge for, again, labor or literally anything that you need in here. And I'll charge for a laptop here for them, just to kind of show you how this works. But once you publish this, it's going to be available via the customer portal. And then once they approve via the customer portal, you'll get a notification about it if that's what you have adjusted in your notification settings. But straight from here, I'm going to click approve just to show you really quickly how to do this. But here I have 3 different line items. And if you click new ticket straight from the estimate, you do have the ability to take a deposit on this new ticket. So I almost feel that would be an easier way to do it if you're looking to collect the money up front. If you're looking for 50% down, or like you said, if it's over $100 for that hardware and you need a bill for it up front, just go ahead and say take deposit here, and then that payment will apply to this ticket for this customer. And then since the ticket is already created, you can still track your time, you can still leave your notes as you would as you're continuing the project. But that's personally the way that I would do it. If you guys have any other suggestions, please let me know. But hopefully that is helpful to you, David.
Awesome. Thank you. I was just going to grab a couple here. Could we integrate our Voip service to Syncro? So we do integrate with a bunch of different free PBXs right now. Like I think that KB article, it just says free PBX, but we integrate with a lot of different ones. If there's one in particular, or if you want more of an advanced integration, I think we are we're looking into integrations right now. We want to build out a lot. So if you have anything in particular or any functionality you want from it, let us know. And then I'm going to grab this one from Larissa. I have an estimate with a name. I then convert the estimate into an invoice and the name is dropped. Is this something I can change so that it carries over? Awesome. We actually just released this. So I probably could have prepared this because I want to make sure I find the exact setting. So I believe that you have to go to your admin section, and I think you have to do this for both estimates and tickets maybe. But if you go to your estimates and additional settings, is it here? Do not pull. Where's the name one? Is it invoices? Hold on. See, I'm troubleshooting as I go. I can't remember. Is it customer preferences? Maybe it's customer preferences. Hold on. Let me look. Because it talks about, maintain custom names between tickets, estimates, and invoices. So it's admin, customer settings, additional settings, and then this checkbox. And now whatever you name your estimate or ticket or invoice, it'll carry over. Sorry, that took me. I thought I knew where it was right off the bat, but there we go. What else do we got?
I've got one in here from David, and this is going to be a few steps. So I'm actually going to send you, if that works, I'm just going to send you a message with the instructions. So what happened was I mistakenly marked an invoice as paid. And once I found out I did this, I needed to resend the invoice to the customer. Couldn't figure out how to remove the paid option set. So it's going to be done through like a series of steps, and I'm going to just send that to you. I think it'll make a lot more sense to you. I'm going to work on a message over to you.
I'll grab this one from Lance, and I'm getting support to take a look at this as well. But the question is, when changing tax rates, can you delete the old one after a new one has been created? Documentation states to disable it, but I don't see a way to do that. So I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully we're looking at the same section in here. But when you're initially building your tax rates over in the admin section under the tax rates, you can have obviously multiples of them. You can actually group tax rates together as well. And from this section, as far as I can see, you can delete a tax rate here. Usually what I see is I think deleting it is available. So I'm not sure where you're seeing that disable section. Lance, let me know. But specifically with QuickBooks questions, before you make any changes, I would reach out to our support team just so that they can confirm that whatever you're doing on the Synchro side is going to match on the QuickBooks side as well, because obviously you want to make sure those are perfectly in sync and you're billing the way that you're expecting things to go. So if I get any updates on that, I will definitely let you know.
Let's see. Do you want me to go? I don't know who's up. We've got some really good questions in here, and if we're delayed at all answering your questions, we're probably checking in with technical support. So just letting you guys know that. But I can grab this one from Brad. How do I pull old chats that have ended? I don't see an archive chat section. I'm only seeing chats that have been ended. I'm fairly certain that if you go just to the customer detail screen, you'll see chat history here. And I think all chat history is here. Not, I mean, whether it's ended, open, like I think they're all going to be here on a customer level.
When you end it, it technically archives it under that particular customer. So just by ending it, we'll make sure that it shows up here under chat history.
Yeah, and I think, as far as I know, when you open the chat back up, yeah, I think can you start it again, or is it just showing?
No, you'll have to start a new one with the customer. But there's no length, and I did check on this previously whenever chat came out. There's no like length of time before they disappear. It should just archive all chats.
Cool. Awesome. Let's see. Speaking of chat, I just see another one. I'm going to read it out loud. What is the difference between the chat section? Oh, sorry, Brandy, are you grabbing it? What is the difference between the chat section of Synchro and the chat when in a remote session with a Synchro asset? So when you're in a remote session with Synchro Live, you still have to use the chat within like you still have to have a window open. So for example, I can just show you this really quick. If we go to assets in RMM and like say, for example, I want to start a Synchro Live session, it opens up a new tab for me here. If I actually want to be chatting with this person, I just need to go here and start a chat from here. So you'd have like two different tabs open for that customer. There's not like an active chat right within Synchro Live. Hopefully that helps. All right. Okie doke. What else?
I got an update on the tax rates question. So please completely disregard what I said previously because I got some clarifications here. So specifically within the tax rates, the update that I'm getting from our technical support manager is to actually not delete it because you don't want to cause any issues with there. What you want to do is if you have a new tax rate that you need to apply, just go ahead and create a brand new one and then go to your customer information section and make sure that you're just applying that new tax rate there. So that way there's like the new one is taking over instead of you deleting and then taking over. Just leave the old one in here without maybe changing the name as like do not use or something like that, but do not delete it out there is the update that I got for that. So Lance, hopefully that helps.
Awesome. I have one in here about tax rate. So can we put sales tax rate on the invoice? We have sales tax for about 15 jurisdictions currently. So important to track sales tax and our clients to know if they have multiple offices. So let me just share my screen here really quickly. You can put different tax rates. So this is just an invoice I opened up. And when you click on this little arrow, you'll be able to choose. This is going to be based on a product here. So I guess I should choose one that has multiple different products here. Let me just add this. I'll add a couple. So each one, you're going to be able to choose the tax rate for each individual product here. Now, you can also set these in the individual products too. So you can choose if it's going to be taxable or not. You can have multiple different tax rates on here too. You can also set that per customer if that's more beneficial for you.
I have a feature request here from David he says, how can we save custom searches and invoices? Every time I open invoices, I have to change my search to not paid and email this and emailed is true. I want to save this as my default search when I open the invoices. Can this be done? As far as I know, you can create saved ticket searches, but as far as I know, not in saved invoice searches. So sounds like every time you're in here, you want to like adjust these settings. As far as I know, there isn't a way to save those. If you guys know something different, please let us know. But here in the tickets, you can create saved ticket searches. You can even organize saved ticket searches by default based on who the technician is even. And so hopefully we can see that functionality coming over to the invoices section as well. And that's all I have.
Sweet. Okay. Great question from Vaughn. When updating labor rates, like at the end of the year, do we need to create new labor products or can we update the existing products without it affecting already billed and paid for invoices? Really, really great question. So what we've done, so just long and short of it, if you update your labor product, it's not going to backdate anything. It's just going to be moving forward. And then what we've also done is there are some settings too. Like if say you have a reoccurring invoice set up, that there's a couple things. Maybe you have a reoccurring invoice and maybe you have a customer that's grandfathered, for example, and maybe you don't want that to automatically update. We did put a setting here in the reoccurring invoice, and it's keep prices in sync if they change. So on a reoccurring invoice, if you don't have this, if you don't have this selected, if you change the labor rate, it's not going to change it on your reoccurring invoice unless you have that selected. Even if you change it today and the invoice goes out in 2 days. So this gives you that control over that, especially for reoccurring customers that, might be locked into a certain rate. So hopefully that helps.
Awesome. David has a question. Great question. My accountant is a user in Synchro, but all she does is go to invoices to fix sync issues to QuickBooks. Can I have her as a user, but not pay full price for her since she just needs the invoicing module? Currently, anyone who needs a login, anyone you need to track information for, they would be a full user. We don't have, you can absolutely limit in security groups. You can have her just have access to invoices or specific sections, but everyone would need to be on the same license currently. It's definitely something that we've talked about internally, having more of a limited user license or read-only type of a license for this specific use case. So hopefully that is something that will be in the works soon.
Question for Evan. He says, continuing on with my email question, is there a way to simplify responding via email? Right now, I get a notification from no reply at syncromsp.com, so I can't just reply to it. I have to generate a new email and plug in our support email address, ticket number into the subject. So I reached out to our support. It sounds like there's actually a way more simple way to do it. So reach out to them so they can assist you in setting it up in the way that it needs to, so you don't have to go through that manual process. And the KB that Brandy dropped previously into the chat box, I'll resend that to you again, just in case you want to take a look at it before you email support as well.
Wow.
They're like, what's going on? We're out of questions. That's why
Friday.
What's happening?
It's because everyone's had so much candy this week. They're just like, coming off their sugar high from Halloween.
Okay, so let's field this question. Halloween candy, least favorite Halloween candy. We got asked this at our team day. We do team day every week and get to like hang out with people that we work with. And yeah, I want to know, what's your favorite Halloween candy and least favorite?
I think what we found out yesterday is that we're very divided as a whole company on if candy corn is the best or the worst. So I would love to know if people like candy corn or not. Like, what's wrong with full sugar? I don't know. People are asking Reese's. I'm with Adam. Yep, we can be best friends because I agree. Candy corn is the worst. Candy corn and peanuts. Evan is my kind of guy. Yep. Yeah, this is hilarious.
We got a lot of candy corn people.
I like it.
Ruben.
Ruben, I didn't see yours.
This is nuts. My guest, Crystal, how did you know that my favorite was red vines? Jeremy, you're freaking me out.
Mounds. I don't even know what mounds are. It sounds terrible.
And coconuts.
He's a coconut
I
one.
hate coconuts and I hate nuts. So yeah.
But licorice is my favorite. That's what I said yesterday. That was my answer.
Red vines, the best place to get red vines are at like feed stores, like animal feed stores, Atwoods, like places like that.
That I know. Oh my God.
My personality? Oh, your personality. Well, Jeremy, I don't know what that says about me because coconuts and almonds sound terrible and boring. So now I know.
Oh God, this is funny.
I'm just gonna disappear into my background now.
Richard, the issue with candy corn is there's no chocolate.
Yep.
I gotta agree with that one. I definitely, yeah, anything chocolate is the best. But Starburst jelly beans are pretty legit. They're the best jelly. If you're gonna go with jelly beans, they're definitely.
They are, but that's like for Easter, right? I don't know.
Okay, now I'm thinking we have questions coming in, and we don't want to progress this time. What do we got? The Zomentum question. I'm going to look at something really quick, and I'm going to come right back to that. Yep, I'm going to come right back to that. Hold on. Anyone else want to grab some other ones?
Yeah, I will. David, I haven't even read through this yet. I just saw the word contracts. Can you explain how this is used? When I set up contracts, it's detailed to the customers on the rates we charge, how much time they get, etc. Can we map something like they only get X amount of time per ticket, per contract, and then the rate changes to our standard rate? Really, really good question. So I love contracts and I feel like I've been talking about them a lot lately because a lot of you guys are coming from the same platform. Contracts inside of Synchro are going to be done for pricing overrides. So you're not going to use a contract for something where like they get a certain number of hours for this rate and then it goes to a different rate. You're going to use a recurring invoice for that likely because you can have prepaid hours. So this is not an area where you would add prepaid hours, but you could add anything that's going to be included or discounted, anything you need a pricing override for. So for Larry, this is going to apply to all tickets. He's going to get labor included. I'm actually going to include remote labor. I think I have one of those too, and I'm just going to pricing override that for him. So now I'm still able to track my time on every single ticket and show my value to this customer, but they're not getting charged for it. So if I happen to add project labor onto a ticket, since I have a labor rate for that, he is going to be billed the regular price. So anything on here, again, that you want to give them a discount on, or that's going to be included in what they pay you per month, you'll have a contract for. You can clone this and apply that to another customer if you would like to. Now in invoices, this is where I would handle most of the other things. So again, you don't have to have a contract. You could do it mostly inside of here. You could say, okay, monthly, I'm going to pull in any tickets that have been resolved. It sounds like in this case, you would give someone like 5 prepaid hours, right, per month. And after that, it's going to resort back to the standard price. So you could do that. And you can come in here and you can have those clear and reset if they're use it or lose it, as I always say, or they don't roll over. Then you can add those in here. And of course, you can add any other items. There's so much flexibility here. But this is how I would handle it. So you don't have to have that contract for them unless you are overriding, and then you would handle everything else in a recurring invoice.
That was so good. And I just can't, I'm sorry if you have not read Jeremy's comment.
Me, I haven't.
Brandy must be fruit gushers then, because they're very sweet but leak sometimes.
I actually love gushers so much.
And it's, yes, Brandy did a very good job. She has not spilled the beans in a very...
I removed myself from all Slack channels that tell, spill the beans beforehand. That's funny. Way to, get some brownie points there, Jeremy.
Since I've unmuted myself so rudely, I'm just going to grab this one. The question about Zomentum with Synchro, is there any benefit to the integration? So I think I don't have a clear view at this point. I haven't seen the integration personally. What I do know is that obviously Zomentum is a fully featured CRM. So there's definitely some added benefit to having a full-fledged CRM, especially if you are actively growing your business. And I will say that with kind of like anecdotally, we are planning to continue to add things to the CRM functionality within Synchro. So it might be like hey, you might need this for a while, but you might not need it in the future type of thing. But heck, any way that you, if you love Zomentum and it's going to build your business, I think that's a benefit right there in itself. And I mean, obviously it's going to link customers, kind of the main thing that I think it does. And then I was just going to ask this for the group because I don't have any examples of using Syncro API via code by Zapier. So if anyone is using the Syncro API and Zapier and have some cool examples for Randy, please feel free to let us know. We'll say them out loud. I know you guys can all see the Q&A as well, but we can bring those to the surface too.
Scott just made a comment about the recurring invoices really quickly about how he hadn't taken a look at the templates in a while and that the page changed. I do just want to show something really quickly because yesterday I was a little bit taken back. I was like, whoa, this looks different to me. So I'm not sure if it has changed, if the verbiage has changed for you guys, but as we're going through here, this used to say standard line item. I'm assuming it's changed in all of your guys's, but I think it's just to make it a little bit more like any line item you would add on an invoice. But Scott said also that the Facebook group has already spilled the beans this morning and given some leaks into some new features. So I haven't taken a look at that yet today, but if you're not part of the Facebook group, that is the best place to get the spill the beans news.
Absolutely. Adam's question kind of goes along with the other, I think it's Zomentum integration too, but he's asking for a Quoteworks integration. So like Crystal said, there's a lot of really cool updates coming to the CRM functionality and quoting functionality within Synchro. So I would just kind of stay tuned unless it's something that's an absolute integral part of your business right now and you can't do anything without it. Using the estimates and the ticketing and invoicing, how they're all tied together within Synchro would be the way to go, and just kind of keep your eye out on, sounds like the Facebook group, because they know stuff before we do. So just keeping an eye on there. And then Larissa, for your question about the multiple payments for multiple invoices at once, I'm double checking with our support team, so I'll let you know I'm not ignoring your question.
Cool. Okay. I'm going to grab this one from Vaughn. Can the type field on a ticket be used to trigger something else to automatically happen? For example, on-site support triggers a set of custom fields with travel info. Okay. A couple things. The actual ticket type is not going to add like a custom field type, but adding custom field types to a ticket can prompt additional information. So let me just share what I mean by that. And then I have kind of a follow-up thing to that as well. So like if I were, let me just go to a customer here and I'm just going to show this just super briefly, or hopefully try not to get too long-winded here. But if I were to like create a ticket, I'm just going to create a ticket the way that's my favorite by using the quick view modal. If I create a ticket from here, Just showing you, like, if you were creating these issue types are not going to automatically trigger like a custom field type. But as you can see, if you're using a custom field type, there's if you say, for example, this was like a new computer setup, it can then prompt additional things. So if this ticket had a custom field and you wanted to customize the actual fields within that custom field type, you could do it that way. The other thing that's really awesome, and this kind of goes into the second part of your question, how do we get the data into some sort of invoice review that we make sure we bill for things like mileage, et cetera, and that kind of thing. So there's a couple things. Let me just get this ticket created so that I can show you a few things for that too. So I'm going to change this so I don't have to add required things. I'm going to actually show you too what else a custom field can do. So I'm going to use virus removal to just show you that really quick. Custom fields are kind of multifaceted. So not only could it add additional fields for you to fill out, but by selecting, for me, this virus removal, it automatically added a worksheet, which is another really cool thing. This worksheet could actually even say, make sure you add your mileage, make sure you do this, that. So there's kind of a couple options there. But what I wanted to show here is that based upon also, if you set like a specific on-site appointment, you can have in your admin section, you can customize appointments to automatically, if it's an on-site, you can have it automatically add a charge. So like if you did appointment types here, I think, did I add this to anything? Let me just go to like an on-site. So you can automatically add a ticket charge. And so like if you had a trip charge in your products and services, like I do, and this one, of course, is a flat fee, but it's going to automatically add it to the ticket. So if you needed to edit it or anything like that, so you could add like mileage here and just make sure maybe on your worksheet or something like that, it reminds the technician to update that. So there's maybe a couple ways to do it. So hopefully that helps.
Awesome, thank you. Question here from Manuel. Is there any way to go back to a paid invoice and adjust the payment amount? I'll share my screen and I'll show you what I was kind of just looking around at. And it looks like there is kind of a way to do it. So I went over to my invoices, I clicked over into a paid invoice, as you can see here, and then I opened the applied payments in a new tab here. And what you can do is you can clear the payment will still be taken, but the invoice that it applies to, I think, can be updated. So if we refresh the invoice now, you'll be able to see that the balance is due still for this one. So if you need and it'll say like you can add more payments or anything like that, but that payment will still exist. It'll say partially paid, how much is still remaining. So you can then say, all right, I need to take a different payment and then apply it to that specific invoice. So hopefully that points you in the right direction of kind of how the payment and the invoice are related.
Thank you. A couple questions in here. So David says, I'm in the process of potentially purchasing another company using Syncro as well. Is there a way to merge that Syncro into mine once it's done? If so, what's the process? There's not a way to take two Syncro accounts and merge them into one. What you could do is you could export from whichever one. I would probably do it from whichever one has the least amount of setup already done, export and then import into the other system. But there's not a way to merge those, unfortunately. But congrats on acquiring a new company. And then Larissa, great question. For the internal ticket warning, is there a way to get this to stay on the ticket after creation? A use case here is the person creating the ticket isn't always the assigned tech doing the work. There isn't a way currently to have that stay on the ticket. I think that's an awesome request. This was just added like a week ago. One thing you could do is you could have a private note. If you wanted to create a private note or something, maybe you could even have a note on that ticket warning to say, like, please add this note in a private note, just to remind that person. Just thinking about different ways here, but when they're reading that, it would be, oh, okay, here's the warning. Let's copy and paste this into a private note. So then it's going to be there on the ticket. just a little workaround I was thinking of. And then Adam also has a question. Do you have expense reports? So for mileage or reimbursement, we don't currently. Typically, people will use their accounting platform, QuickBooks or Xero, for expense reports.
Awesome. Larissa, I have an update for you for your previous question. It was, she said, when taking payments for multiple invoices at once, I want to send the customer their payment receipt. Currently, I've been going into each invoice that was processed and send them. This creates multiple emails going to the customer. Is there any way to send all of this information in one email, the payment receipt and the invoices processed? So the response that I got from our team is it looks like it's not currently possible, but it's this great feature request. I can definitely see how it would be useful. Lindsay says, there is a payment receipt PDF on the main payment detail, which shows all invoices applied, but it does include the invoice PDF. So you'd have to manually gather that all into one email currently, unfortunately. So we'll definitely pass that along for you. And then I have another one here from Randy that I'll just grab right at the top. Question, can you have an on-site ticket default to a minimum charge? We bill minimum 1 hour for on-site. So there is a way to accomplish your goal here, which is to bill for going on site, and it's through setting up a product and attaching it to an appointment type. So if you guys head over to more admin section and then search for appointment types in here, you can choose, I have one built here for on-site, and if you're editing this, you can say, I also want to automatically add a ticket charge. I called mine trip charge. This here is an actual product that exists within Synchro. So when you're attaching something here, you can't just type something random. It has to obviously attach to the products and services section. So whatever you put in here, so if you create a product, again, I called mine trip charge, but you can say minimum 1 hour charge for on-site, and you can edit your own description. You can obviously put your own fee in there of what the cost is to the customer. But once you build this product and you attach it to the appointment type here, basically anytime that it would have to be done through an appointment. So you can say, okay, I'm going on to location Friday, not too late. Let's go at 12 for this person right here. And then whichever ticket that you attach it to, go ahead and select that ticket. And then when you say appointment type and you say on-site and you create the appointment, you'll see that ticket, that charge is going to be automatically applied to the linked ticket. If you actually go back in and you take a look at it, you'll see that the trip charge is going to be listed right in here, or with whatever product that you link there. So that's how I would approach that one. And then the second question, after hours, we charge overtime anyway to adjust the bill rates for outside of business hours. I think right now this is a feature request. I think I would just create at this time, as far as I know, a product that says like after hours labor, and then when you're working tickets, just to bill for it that way. I don't think it will automatically kick in if it's outside of business hours, but I do think that would be a really cool request.
Awesome. Thanks. I'm just going to grab a couple here just very quickly. Having not integrated a PSA with an accounting system before, does Syncro have a set of best practices? I mean, not really best practices, especially when it comes to accounting. Everyone does this a little bit different. We do integrate with both QuickBooks online and desktop version, as well as Xero. We have phenomenal KB articles. Our technical support folks are super knowledgeable, but I also recommend maybe even, leveraging our awesome community on Facebook and maybe linking up with someone and asking some questions there, because everyone kind of sets this up a little bit different. Is there a demo system that we can log into? We do not have a sandbox version. So we do say that, with your 30-day free trial, if you use a couple of those days to just kind of test whatever the heck you want to test, we can purge that account. So you don't have to open a new account. We can just get rid of everything that you've, all customers and tickets and invoices and all that kind of stuff. We're happy to do that for you, but not a sandbox version, no.
Cool. It looks like we have quite a few questions in just a couple minutes. So timesheets, Adam, does the ticket time entries roll up into a timesheet for payroll purposes? So yes, just really quickly, let me show you. If we go into the report section under employees, there is going to be a time clock here, or for tickets, you could go to or ticket time by tech. This is also a good one to view. So you'll be able to see those there. Either one of those should help you out there. And then I did think I had another question. David, how do we see these recordings? So we did miss one Friday. We apologize about that. Tatiana and I kind of had we didn't automatically start the recording, and I started the session, so I think that's on me. But I just linked the YouTube channel. That's where you can typically find every Friday. I think we've only missed one. Sometimes they're posted on Monday, but.
Yeah, we're sorry, guys. We apologize. We were so excited to get started. We did not push the record button.
That was me.
Question from Brianna. I actually dropped a KB into the chat box for you. She says, when techs press the stop button in the labor log and type a note into the notes box, press enter to submit their note. Nothing happens. The notes don't seem to appear anywhere. You can use ticket tags, and I linked the KB on exactly how to implement those so that whatever notes you want to be pulled in are going to appear there. So hopefully that's helpful to you.
Awesome. I was just going to type this to you, Jeremy, but I definitely recommend reaching out to Lindsay in technical support for that question. Cause I don't want to say the wrong thing. It's regarding QuickBooks and reimbursements and things like that I don't know. So I would definitely send in a ticket and maybe even attention Lindsay. All right. So it is now 10:01. Holy moly, we went through an hour so fast. Thank you all so much. We enjoy doing these every single week. We hope you have a phenomenal weekend. Stay safe, stay healthy. Happy Halloween. Eat lots of red licorice and not so much.
And mounds.
Good candy and all the chocolate. Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.